Bellevue Gold CEO Darren Stralow is an experienced mining executive and qualified mining engineer with over 20 years industry experience. He was a member of the senior management team at Northern Star Resources for over 10 years, with roles including head of operations and head of business development during a period of exceptional growth. He has extensive experience in strategy development and execution, building and operating modern mining operations, business integration and transformation, and building high-performance teams. Welcome along, Darren.
Thank you very much, and thanks to RIU for having me here today. This is my first opportunity to present the Bellevue story. I've been with the company since the 10th of January, and we've managed to do a lot of work in that time, and I'm really pleased to share that with you. Here are the updated disclaimers available on the ASX. And look, I truly am very excited to present this Bellevue story to everyone. This is week 6 now for me in the chair. And, I joined the company after over a decade with Northern Star. What I've seen here in these first few weeks is a project that truly does have tier 1 characteristics, and everything from a technical perspective absolutely checks out and is really sound. From that technical perspective, it's really geology 101, it's mining 101, and it's processing 101. And we have a really good team, a really strong team that's looking forward to build this project over the next 18 months. Once built, this Bellevue project will be one of Australia's best mines. It'll be high grade, low cost, producing circa 200,000 ounces per annum at an all-in sustaining cost of about $1,000 an ounce. And we have drill rigs turning and identifying resource extensions and upgrades as we speak. We had an announcement this morning which had a number of these results out. We're setting up for long term in a district where similar mines to this, similar underground mines, will continue for decades. This long-term view allows us to make long-term decisions for the benefit of everybody. And we are committed to being a sustainable gold mining company, a green and gold company. And there are really exciting things happening in this space, particularly from a power generation perspective, that we're able to take advantage of. And from a mining perspective, look, there simply aren't going to be many surprises when we get underground here. I mean, we're already underground. We've done 4 kilometres of underground development. We have a history of production from this mine. We've got 2 diamond drill rigs turning as we speak, and we know exactly what to expect. And most importantly, we're fully funded to production with $373 million of total liquidity available to build the project. And, having a project of such high quality brings with it a number of competitive advantages. We have one of Australia's highest grade and highest margin gold mines. It's on the cusp of production and of construction, and we've got exciting exploration potential and an accelerated growth timeline that we're going to hit over the next 18 months. We have a really good team in place, and it's really going to be that real people, real profits, and real growth coming up. But the company's not standing still as we embark on this journey from explorer to developer to producer. Growth is still the main focus, both in optimizing the execution plan and continuing to drill out the deposit and extend the mine plan. And don't forget these tier 1 characteristics that the deposit has. We have grade and scale, and this will elevate the mine into the upper echelon of producing mines, and this will result in significant profitability, which will set us apart from our peers. From an ESG and carbon emissions perspective, there's simply never been a better time to build a mine. And Bellevue have committed top to bottom in the company from the start to be a green and gold miner that capitalises on these opportunities that are available to us. And if you zoom out and have a look at the macro landscape, there simply aren't many deposits that has the characteristics of Bellevue worldwide around. So, if you look at mines that are over 180,000 ounces per annum, over 5 gram per tonne head grade, and in tier 1 jurisdictions, there's only 7 of these deposits currently in operation. And when Bellevue's up and running, it's going to be the only deposit worldwide with these characteristics that's not owned by a global gold major. And we're on the cusp. We've started building this mine. You'll see later in the presentation, but we've commenced the building of the 330-person camp, and this puts us on that pathway to production. And what you can see on the graph here is the share price performance of other similar single asset gold development companies as they've gone through this journey in recent times. We have a really strong board and management. So I think a credit to Steve and the team for really focusing on this over the past 18 months and building up a really engaged board and really engaged management team that have all the skill sets required to build a project of the quality of Bellevue. And when you have a project, that has the quality that Bellevue does, you're actually able to continue to attract a really high quality team. And we're seeing this through all levels of the business now. So as we move through to this construction phase and we're putting new people on, what we're seeing is that we're getting multiple high quality candidates for every role that we're advertising because it's such a good project. We're attracting some really good people. Bill Sterling and I are the two new additions to that. We both started in January, both from Northern Star. Bill recruited into Northern Star about 7 or 8 years ago, and I've brought over to Bellevue to run the project for me. Bill's one of the big young talents in the mining industry, and we're really glad to have him on board to really drive that underground productivity and look after the underground contracts and all that important stuff. So the exploration and development strategy that we're going to pursue at Bellevue is nothing different to what we've done in the past 5 years to deliver the market-leading returns that we've seen. Bellevue's share price growth to date has been delivered by exploration success, leading to expanded mining inventory, in turn leading to increased project economics. This is a circular process and will continue. There's no doubt we'll continue to see resources and reserves increase as we get further underground and expose more drilling horizons. And the results that we put on the ASX today with a bunch of these drill hits, both inside and outside of resource wireframes, demonstrate that. So we're going to extend these resource wireframes. We'll convert the areas of inferred as we go, which will in turn lead to increased reserves, resources, and most importantly for a mining engineer like myself, increased profitable tonnes into the mine plan. The overall project economics will continue to be updated as we construct and continue to update and tweak the mining plan in order to improve productivity. And we'll continue to optimise this project from a geological and operational point of view to ensure that this cycle continues through that construction process. So our exploration announcement this morning had some of these results on it, but I mean, you can see some of the numbers here and they're absolutely phenomenal. And these are both inside and outside of our current resource wireframes. This deposit is open in every direction, and that is not just at depth, that is along strike, that is in and out of the page with multiple lodes all around the place. And we'll continue to expand and drill this as we get further underground. At the moment, we have 2 underground fronts, one to the north and one to the south that we have drill rigs in, and we'll continue to move those drill rigs down as we develop more. And one of the benefits that we have, the starting points that we have coming in, is that we already have a 3 million ounce resource to look at. Of that, only 50% is in the current mining plan from feasibility study 2. And those red areas that you see there are areas that we're going to target and convert as we get more drilling horizons underground. One of the benefits of this mine plan is that there's actually distinct mining areas underground, so that once we're down there and once we're in full production, we'll be mining from between 3 and 5 mining areas at any one time, which is going to allow us to really focus on and drive productivity. So as I said, the camp construction's commenced. What you can see there is the first 80 rooms in a 330-person camp that have landed and are available for use. Here's the Paris portal. This is the main access to the mine, which was cut 1.5 years ago. And we've completed over 4 kilometres of development to date in order to establish 2 separate mining fronts to the north and south, targeting the priority areas for exploration, definition, and eventually production. And in taking the over 1,100 development rounds to date, we've learned a hell of a lot about the rock mass, and any old timer that worked at this deposit in its heyday will tell you that this rock is very hard and very competent, and that's what we found. All areas underground only require bolts and mesh as ground support, which is a dream for jumbo operators. We have 2 specialist drill rigs drilling out the deposit from underground, and compared to surface drilling, this results in a reduction in drilling cost per metre, coupled with shorter holes to get to the target depth, meaning an overall 65% reduction in cost per effective drill metre. Coming out of the portal, we'll start to look at the infrastructure that was laid out in FS2, which was released in mid-2021. We'll move on here to look at our 1 million tonne per annum process plant. This is a very stock standard gold plant, 1 million tonne per annum, 3-stage crush to ball mill, gravity circuit to standard CIL, with phenomenal recovery, 60% through the gravity circuit and 97% recovery overall. It's a very standard plant, very good metallurgy at Bellevue. We move on to look at the offices, the workshops, and then up over the waste dump, tailings dam, and up to the power plant. So this plant was envisaged as a solar and gas plant as a part of feasibility study 2. And a lot of work's gone on in the background since then to look at integrating wind power and get even better results from a greenhouse gas emissions perspective. And then we go back to the camp at the end. So you shouldn't assume that the FS2 numbers that we put out last year was where it would finish for us in terms of optimizing the mine plan. So as we've gotten underground and as we've looked around, we found that these really excellent ground conditions allow for a change and an optimization of the mine plan. And this has been a huge focus for Bill and I since we started with the company over a month ago. In fact, it's been the #1 focus for us. We've looked at this execution plan and we've looked at a number of options which we expect to significantly deliver value to this project. The ground conditions at Bellevue are first class. We're going to utilise these ground conditions to simplify and optimise this mine plan. And the changes that we're looking at are nothing out of the ordinary. It's really mining 101. It's a top-down mining sequence. We're going to remove CRF from the first 2 years. We'll put in larger ore drives so that we can standardise equipment across operating and capital areas. We're going to increase the level spacing, introduce mechanical slot rising to increase reliability across our stoping fronts, and focus on sub-vertical areas of the mine in those critical first 3 years. And the result of these adjustments is either a reduction in cost or an increase in productivity, and generally both of the above. And this expected reduction in pre-capital costs couldn't come at a better time in the industry, as the whole industry is under pressure from rising costs. And as more resources and reserves are added, we'll continue to update this plan. All of this work has been done in just a month, and we'll continue to update it as we go along. I've already discussed the process plant. So 1 million tonne per annum plant, pretty standard. But what we've been able to do as we've designed this plant is build in a lot of contingency. So as we get underground and as we drive productivity from the mine, we can match it with an increased milling rate for only modest capital costs. And we're on a defined timeline. So this is the timeline to first gold. We've got a number of catalysts coming up this year, and particularly in the next 8 weeks. So lots of news flow as we have a reserve update. We award the EPC contract and start ordering long lead items for the plant. We appoint our preferred independent power provider, a preferred underground contractor. And in the meantime, we're finalising our permitting and building the team to prepare to get stuck into the build. And I'll end with this great slide that shows the opportunity that building a new high-grade off-grid mine can provide to you. So feasibility study 2, right to the left of this, shows that Bellevue was forecast to be Australia's lowest carbon emitting gold mine on a per ounce basis when it's in production. And since we've done this study, we've discovered significant opportunities to lower the greenhouse gas intensity from that point onwards. So, and that's particularly through the introduction of wind generated power. So this creates a wonderful opportunity for us and the potential to produce something special, potentially the first zero carbon gold produced right out of Western Australia. Just wait and see. Thank you.